Now let's see how to do this question. Right. Did you all write the question in the book? Yes. Now, right, is the format ready? Right, very good. Now, listen please. Shall we do this together? I will give you a similar question then you will do. Actually, this is the normal questions which are given in exams, right? So the previous two questions I just discussed to teach you the format of the lesson actually. That type of an easy question, but anyway those may be tested just for 5-6 marks, right? If this is given for 20 marks, probably this is given for 20 marks the question. So in that case, this type of a question will be there. Understand? Although this is the first question, sometimes this pattern of a question may come. I am not going to say this is easy or this is hard, right? This is in a moderate level, okay? Maybe here the thing is you are given, right, in the question you are having the question, right? So I have given you the sales, then the cost of sales and all. Then using this, I am going to prepare the cash flow statement under the direct method. Right? You are given profit and loss statements as well as statements of financial position. Right? You are given balances on 31st March 2021 and 31st March 2022. So the balances on 31st March 2021 you can take as the opening balances. And the balances on 31st March 2022 you can take as closing balances. Right? So when you are answering a question like this, right, there is no any standard pattern to answer, but I think my method may be easy for you. My method is here I am not going to do the same as I did in incomplete records. Now when you come to this level, I think you all are having a certain level of knowledge, right? I think it's better and that will save your time. You better start the cash flow statement when it is given in this way from the profit and loss statement. Normally what we do is we take opening and closing balances to accounts, then we take the other details and go. But for this lesson I ask you, I recommend you, it's better to start with the details given in the profit and loss statement, and you better have an idea about the whole question. Right? So I mean, when it takes sales, you should remember sales are connected with debtors, right? You should have that idea. And the next important thing is, here we want to recognize and identify what are the cash flows. We prepare the cash flow statement. You want to take the cash flows with respect to this. So first, if you start with sales, in sales the sales value is given 2000, right? You are given 2000 here. Sales value 2000 in the question there. But you know, if it is not specifically saying in the question, you can assume all the sales and purchases were on credit basis. That is a normal assumption. You always assuming that way, right? If it is not specifically given, you can assume those are on credit basis. Therefore, don't assume this is a cash sale, this is a credit sale. Using this credit sale, you want to compute what? What is the cash flow with respect to credit sales? Receipts from debtors. To convert credit sales to receipts from debtors, you will have to prepare the debtors control account. Understand? I will maintain accounts in that way. I mean, usually in other lessons, what we do is we draw all the accounts and we put all the opening and closing balances here and there. Then we take details. But I use a different approach here to save the time. Otherwise, you will draw accounts for all the balances, all unnecessary balances. That will waste your time. So the easiest way, we'll finish off from that point onwards to forward. Right? Take sales. Sales are connected to debtors. I think now you have that skill. You can do that, right? Because we have done incomplete records, we have done non-profit objective organizations. In all other lessons, we prepared accounts and we prepared partnerships also in theory and revision and all that. So it's better to start with debtors. You know, when you look at sales, you know that is connected to debtors. Right? So draw the debtors account. Make a lazy mom in easy, right? Go will not love මේ මම ගණන් හදන විදි චුට්ටක් අල්ලගන්න. ඒ ක්‍රම වලට බොහෝ වෙලාවට ලේසි. මොකද අපි අවුරුදු ගානක් ගණන් හදලා මොකක් හරි ක්‍රමයකට ගිහිල්ලා තියෙනවා. ඔයා ඉස්සෙල්ලාම ගානක් පුරුදු වෙනවට වඩා දැන් මම මොකක් හරි method එකක් choose කරනවා නම් that is with years of experience, so that may be easier than other methods. ඒක වෙන්නේ නැති සමහරවිට අපි select කරගෙන. So for you also I think if you just understand us, so it's doing it this way, that may be easy for you. While there are 2-3 methods to do the same, but if I am using something, that may be the easiest way. And within a lower time you can do that. Mehan, now go to debtors balance in your SOFP. Opening debtors and closing debtors balance you are given 420 and 540. Take this. The opening debtors balance is 420. Closing debtors balance 540. Right? Now sales, credit sales will be debited or credited here? Should be debited sales. 2000. Right? Now this is a small question. Are there any other transactions have to debtors? What are the other things? Returning words, bad debts. Are there such transactions? No such transactions. That means these are the only things which are affected to debtors. So if you balance the debtors account in here, you will get a difference. What is that? This will be received from debtors. Right. Now balance the debtors control account. Here you will get a difference. I have given all these 1000. At all the details are 1000. Class the deal on 100. See 1890. What is this? This is from debtors. Cash received from debtors. This is coming under which activities? Operating activities. Paid to operating activities. Received from debtors. 1880 plus. Next, what is the next detail given? Cost of sales. You have to identify the cash flow included or hidden in cost of sales. So tell me, what is the cash flow there in the cost of sales?
Purchases.
Yeah, is it purchases? If it is purchases, if it is on cash basis, okay. But is this purchases or payment to creditors? Right. You have to assume all the purchases go on credit basis. Mehan, you are given cost of sales. First you need to calculate credit purchases. Then using credit purchases, you need to calculate payment to creditors. Is it only one calculation or two calculations? You have two calculations there. Using cost of sales, you want to find credit purchases. Then you want to convert that to payment to creditors. Understand? I think this part will be easy. Opening stock plus purchases minus closing stock will be
Cost of sales.
cost of sales. Usually you calculate cost of sales in this way. Then, if this is creditors control account, opening balance and closing balance of creditors. Now, listen. When you take the stocks, opening stock is 300, closing stock is 250. You can mark. Then you are given creditors. The opening creditors balance 210. Closing balance is 120. You know cost of sales how much? 1100. 1100. When you take 1100, you got this answer after deduction of 250. Add this back and deduct this. Is it upward calculation? Then we will get the difference. Understand? This plus this 1350 minus 300 is 1050. What is this? This is How did I convert cost of sales to payment to creditors? I think always you can use this calculation. You can use this calculation in this way. It's 1100. What is this? Payment to creditors. Under which activities? Operating activities. Payment to creditors. Yes, 1000. Right? Now, listen. First two details from profit and loss statement we have already taken. Okay? Sales are cost of sales are. Now, what is next? Gross profit. It's gross profit. 900. So, tell me, is it required to take? Gross profit is for the difference between sales and cost of sales. We took first two things. Right? No need to take the gross profit again. And then dividend received 50. Yeah, dividend received given on the income. Is this the income or the amount received? In the profit and loss, what do you state? The income. What do you want? Cash received. Here, the dividend received is 50. If there is any receivable amount, you need to adjust that and take the amount received. For the next also, interest received, the income 150. If something is receivable, you need to adjust that. See SOFP whether there are dividend receivables and interest receivables. No. Nothing called dividend receivable or interest receivable. That means what? Income equals to amount received. Don't take this straight away always. But in this question you can take why there are no any receivable or received in advance balances. If there are so, you need to prepare accounts and record this, and you always want the amount received in cash. Clear? So take this as it is. Dividend received under which activity? Investing activity. Dividend received 50. Then interest received 150. Dividend received and interest received 150. Main answer is the answer is the difference between these. And when you go to operating expenses 450, is this the amount paid or the expense? Expense. What do you want to calculate? Amount paid. Draw a new account for operating expenses. Operating expenses. I ask you not to take that straight away because there may be so many operating expenses here, there may be so many adjustments there. So the easiest, when you pay the operating expense, cash account credit, this account debit. There may be opening balances, prepaid, low paid in advance, something. Right? You better leave some space there. When you make the payment, this account debit, cash account credit. Finally, you balance this and the difference you transfer to where? Profit and loss. The amount you transfer to profit and loss equals to 400. Understand? It's safe now. You just put that 400 here and wait a moment. There may be some other things. Second, there may be ඔය වගේ වෙලාවට මේවා නිකන් කියව හාරවසම්සේ යනවා. That kills you, that gets waste your time, right? අවුරුද්දකින් කොහොමද මේක කියවන්නේ? ඒ නිසා මම කියන්නේ මේක නේ. එහෙම අර ලේසියෙන් හදන්න පුළුවන් නම් හදුවා. නැත්තම් චුට්ටකින් ඔය ටික නිකම්ම එළියට එනවා. ඒ දුක් ඉදින්නේ. හැබැයි දැන් මේක ගන්න එක දෙන්න. නැත්නම් හැමදේම. මේක දාලා තියාගන්න තමයි දැන් ඔපරේටිං එක්ස්පෙන්සස් වල කේස් එකක් තියෙනවා. තේරුණා? විභාගෙදි ගණන් හදද්දිත් එහෙම මේක ගත්තා. Just leave that for a moment and go. If it is possible to complete, you have to complete, otherwise skip it. Now, interest expense is 200. Is this amount paid for the expense? Properly we call for interest. Here also, what is this? The amount transferred profit and loss. 200. If you want, you can skip that. That you will run apply, you can skip and come back later. But we know we require an account for this. We require an account. Then profit before tax, is it required? No. Yeah, sir. Income tax, what is this? Amount paid or expense? Expense. So the income tax. Transfer this 200 to profit and loss. They are also the same. Understand? Right. Then the details given in profit and loss statement we have done. There's a closing balance. The answer, what is that? Profit for the year, that is 250. Again, annual profit, the remaining balance is 250. Right? You know this is not a cash flow. Profit is something of cash. Right? Just skip that amount and come back. Now come to SOFP. You are given property, plant and equipment. Right? You know, always there are some transactions respect to property, plant and equipment. What are those? Maybe acquisitions, disposals, revaluations, depreciation. There are so many things. Anyway, you better draw an account for property, plant and equipment. Draw an account for property, plant and equipment. Opening balance 4,000. Closing balance 6,000. Right? මොකද මම ඒකට account එකක් ගිහුවා මෙතන කියනවා depreciation ගැන කියනවානේ පොඩක් ගමසම. Now go to fixed deposits. What has happened to fixed deposits? Those were increased from 500 to 700, right? No other transactions of fixed deposits. What is the reason to increase the fixed deposit value by 200? You should have deposited more money in fixed deposits. That's what's the reason to increase fixed deposits. Take this difference 200. You can assume we have deposited money in fixed deposit. It's a cash payment. We have deposited under which activities? Investing activities. Deposits in fixed deposits. Deposits in fixed deposits 200 negative cash flow. Right? Then when you go to the share investments, opening balance 600, closing balance has become 450. What is the reason to decrease this amount? That has been decreased by 150. Why? You should have sold your shares. We had initially invested some money in shares in other companies, right? So we have sold those. Is it cash receipt or payment? When you sell this, you will get money. It's a receipt under which category? Investing activities. Sale of shares. 150. Then, what's that? Prepaid operating expenses. Listen, that is about the operating expenses. No, wait. Stop me. We took stocks. Not that. We did that. Let us also take prepaid operating expenses. Yes. When it comes to prepaid operating expenses, opening balance 70. Right? You are having an account for operating expenses. Opening prepaid balance is an asset for you. In the operating expenses account, take this as the opening balance 70. The balance carried out. Is that clear? Is it clear? There. Cash. What is the opening cash balance? 310. Closing balance? 530. In your cash flow statement, when you finalize this one, here you will get the net cash. That plus opening cash balance, how much? 310. So the closing balance will be 500. This is the opening balance, this is the closing balance. Now tell me what is the difference between these two? One each. 220. What is that 220? That should be the answer. That should be the answer. And make a hurry to have 220. Is it clear? Now I got it in a විභාගෙදි ගාන හරිනම් බැලන්ස් කරන්න ඉන්න දරා දන්නවා 20 marks ආ. يعني මේක ගොඩක් වෙලාට ළමයින්ට තියෙන ආසයි. මිස් බැලන්ස් නේ. යා ෂුවර් ඔෆ් I got 20 marks. Okay මේකෙන් සම්බන්ධයෙන් මේ 20 marks ගන්න ඕන වල විභාගෙදි මේක ගන්න ඕනේ 20ක්. ඒ කියන්නේ නේද? ඇත්තටම isn't this interesting? පොඩි කතියක් තියෙනවා. සමහර ළමයි ඉන්නවා cash flow indirect method එක අම්මෝ. ඒ වගේ නේද? බලන්න මම කලන්ට වාසේ වැල කියලා යා. ඒක ඉච්චර ජොලිද නේ? It's like a game. Right. Next. Listen. අනේ මොකද ඊට පස්සේ තියෙන්නේ? Stated capital, right? Listen please. Opening stated capital balance is 4,500. That was increased to 7,400. What is the change? 2,900. Yeah. Stated capital, share capital has been increased by 2,900. So tell me what are the possible reasons to be so? Maybe issue of shares. Maybe bonus issue. Maybe right issue. Just issuing shares and right issue you can take as something similar, equal. But if there is any bonus issue, that is something different. That is capitalization of research. Right? Does this question say something about bonus issue? No. Is there any indication? No. Therefore, you can assume there are no any bonus issues. Is it possible to give in the exam? There's a high possibility, right, to give those. But here, there is no any bonus issue, right? Therefore, you can assume the entire 2,900 increase in shares should be issue of shares. That should come under finance. Issue of shares. $2,900. One more. When you take your retained earnings, opening balance is 200, closing balance is 400. Now listen. If you prepare the statement of changes in equity, what is the opening balance you have to mention as retained earnings? 200. Yeah. Just imagine if you prepare the statement of changes in equity as the opening balance, you put 200. Then what are the other things you record there? Opening balance then profit for the year, total comprehensive income, then the annual profit will come there. What are the other things? Payment of dividend you will deduct there. Then transfers to general reserves you will record there. In case you use the retained earnings for a bonus issue, you will record. These are the all possible transactions with respect to retained earnings. Now see what are the transactions you can eliminate. Is there any bonus issue here? No. Therefore, bonus issues will not be affected to retained earnings. මම කියන්නේ මෙහෙම හිතන්න කිව්වා. විතර වරදින්නේ නැහැ. ඒ වහුව වෙනවා. නැත්නම් ඔයා නිකන් උඩින් බලපුවම ගමන් කරනවා. Is there any possibility to transfer to general reserve here? මෙහෙම උනට මේ ගානේ ජනරල් රිසර්ව් එකකුත් තියෙනවා. ජනරල් රිසර්ව් එකේ ඕපනින් බැලන්ස් එක 200, ක්ලෝසින් බැලන්ස් එක 220. Then there is a difference or the increase in general reserve. Therefore, that 20 should be transferred to general reserve. That may not be given in the question, but you have to assume. In case the general reserve has been increased, there is no way out to be so. Instead, transfer it to general reserve. Clear? But here I haven't given in any general reserve. Therefore, that also you can eliminate. There make a bonus issue na transfer to general reserve na. Then opening balance in the stated in the retained earnings 200. If you take the annual profit there 250 altogether should be 450. But using the closing balance is only 400. So there is a transaction which you haven't recorded, which should decrease your retained earnings by 50. What should be that?
Dividends.
Payment of dividend. Here I have given you your guidance. Right. That is the company has paid some interim dividend, but in the exam don't expect that. Then in the exam, if there is any difference there, you have to assume they have paid dividends. Naturally, you have to get that idea. Okay. Make a month, you know, here can give no out no way out, you know, that is dividend. Now make a dividend scheme that is 50. Maybe cash flow can put advance part of a company will in the had anything. If not eating, must they had some Haragana, Hadana, or to done. In Ato Art Mahitani Pulong, do not pull up. Can Mahitana by one take a lame, put a may 20 marks, come out gun pull up. Mahitana never. He is at the young. After completion of this, you will understand. Sometimes, at the first time, if this is the first time you see this one, now you are very much comfortable. But you may have seen this earlier somewhere. The first impression may not be nice like this. Because I have met such students. Cash flows. Indirect name kilakam samharalama hitangindi me loke akikuda hadata praya dewi. Ne koma haduwa doka balance inne. Denata man kiyanne mama thamai ena මේක කරන්න මම උත්සාහ කියලා. ඒකට මම ඉවෙන්ට් කරනවා. බලන්න ඒක. Right. Anyway, personally I like very much to the lessons where you require some brain. The companies, standards, cash flows and management accounting. Then I syllabus එක ගත්තම සාමාන්‍ය අත්‍තරම personally මම ආසයි. ඒ අතර මගේ පැත්තෙන් ගත්තම මම වෙයි ඉගෙන ගත්ත මොනවද ඒක මේ chartered accountant I should have done those. तर මේව දන්න මිනිස්සෙක් bank reconciliation හදන්න ගියාම නිකන් හිතන්නකෝ. ඒක නිකන් අර නේද? චුටි පාඩම් නේ අපි syllabus එකේ මුල හරිය තියෙන නිකන් එන ගුම්පා ටිකක් තියෙන්නේ. ඊට වඩා ඇත්තටම ඔයාලට මේවා ඊට වඩා ඔයාලගේ මොලේ මහන්සි කරන්න. මේවනේ exam එකට ගොඩක් අපිට තියෙන ලොකු weight එකක් තමයි reconciliation එක කරපු 20 marks දෙන්නේ නේ. ඒ වගේ ගත්තාම these lessons are something they are in the deep part of accounting. You have to have a good understanding and do somewhat hard reading. Then that's it. Then the retained earnings difference you have to take 20. Dividends paid under which category? Finance. Dividends paid. Now, see the bank loan. 1,100 to 400, decrease of 700. What is the reason to decrease the bank loan? You should have paid it. Which activity? Again, finance. Bank loan paid. Bank loan paid. 700. Next. Creditors balance, we took that one. Accrued operating expenses. See the operating expenses account where the opening accrued balance 60, you can put here the opening balance. Closing accrued balance 20. Right? 100. Now see the accrued interest. Opening accrued interest 50. Brought forward balance here. Closing accrued 60. Provision for income tax is the liability. Opening liability is 80. Brought forward here. Closing balance 100. Okay. Now all the details which were given in profit and loss and SOFP we took. Now see the additional information number 1. Depreciation of PPE, how much? 80, I say there. Depreciation of property, plant and equipment for the year was 80,000 includes in operating expenses. When you depreciate assets 80,000, as I haven't separately given accumulated depreciation account, you can assume like in incomplete reports we did, the depreciation you can straight away credit to property, plant and equipment. Now take depreciation how much? 80. Credit here depreciation. What is the place to show depreciation? You take that under expenses. But here nothing given as depreciation separately, and it says that is included in operating expenses. This is your operating expenses account. You can assume the way they have accounted asset account credit, operating expenses account. This is the depreciation. Understand? But if you are given separately a provision for depreciation account, then instead this you have to credit that to provision for depreciation account. The opening balance is there and depreciation is there. And there are such cases there. Now, debtors account is done. Cost of sales calculation is done. Creditors control is done. If you balance the operating expenses account in the debit side, you will get a difference. What is this? This is a payment in cash.
Yes.
Operating expenses paid. 370. Take this 370. Operating expenses paid. Okay. In this interest account, credit total is 250 minus 60. That is what? 90. What should be? Interest paid in cash. 190 is interest paid in cash. Take the income tax. 180 is also paid in cash. Income tax paid in cash. Finally, in the property, plant and equipment account, credit total is 6,080, debit total is 4,080. There is a debit difference, is it? 2,080. What should be? We should have acquired, purchased some property, plant and equipment. But if you got the difference in the other side, you have considered that as disposals. 2018, take on which activities? Investing, acquisition of PPE. Minus. Is that all? You're right. Those one. Balance come. Net operating cash was 0. Cash generated from operations was 370, but the net amount was 0, right? Net cash flow from investing activities is minus 1,930. Financing activities 2,150 plus 2,150 minus 1,930. I know. ගණිත විනෝදේ වගේ. චුට්ටක් අතපත ගාගන්න තේරෙනවා නම් මම දන්නේ. ඒක අවුලක් නැහැ නේ. ඔබ දාගන්නත් ඒක. හිතෙන්නේ නැති ඒ වගේ ගානක් තනියෙන් හදලා බැලන්ස් කරගත්තොත් චුලි වැඩක් වෙනවා. හිතෙන්නේ නැති එකනේ වැඩේ ඒකනේ. හරි හිතෙන්නේ නැති වුණාට මට හිතවන්න වෙනවා බලන්න. We'll do a similar question. Similar means with some little differences. Go to question number 3 in my book. මේ ගානේ මොකද නොතේරෙන තැනක් තිබුණා නේද උසම්බර? Right. Page number 34, question number 3. Page number 34, question number 3. Following information has been extracted from the financial statements of Vijay Limited. Balance sheet items, SOFP items. Ordinary shares, profit and loss account. So what is profit and loss? Retained earnings. 100 rupees, 100 debentures, state creditors, accrued debenture interest, income tax payable, bank balance. Motor vehicles at net value, furniture at net value, trading stock, trade debtors, prepaid operational expenditure, bank balance, cash in hand. You see bank balance at the top. First you are given not the assets here, first you are given the equity and liabilities. There on 31st March 2021 bank balance is negative, is 0. But as the closing balance you are given 40. Tell me, is it 40 a debit balance or credit balance? In that case the bank balance is given not in assets, in liability side. Clear? Is it a normal balance or overdraft? Should be an overdraft. But when you see the other side, motor vehicle, furniture and there, you see the bank balance is given there as 20. Is it an overdraft or normal balance? It's a normal balance. Cash in hand given in both cases. Now, items extracted from the income statement. Sales, gross profit. You are not given cost of sales. Can you calculate?
Yes.
Yeah. Sales minus gross profit is cost of sales. Other income, total operating expenses including depreciation, interest expense, income tax for the year. Other information. All non-current assets are depreciated at 20% per annum on the opening net book value. Other income represent profits on disposal of motor vehicles. See, is there any other income? Yes, 15. That says there is a profit from disposal of motor vehicle. There were no disposal of furniture and no additions to motor vehicles during the year. You see the way they have given. No disposal of motor vehicle. So no disposal of furniture, but there can be acquisition. No additions to motor vehicle, but there is a disposal. Understand? Required cash flow statement for the year ended 31st March 2022. Cash from operating activity should be calculated using direct debit. හදුව ගානේ වගාවල් කොබේ ගන්නේ. Little differences there. On a cash and bank, then you have to at least 20. If you want to cash and cash equivalents, if you are given say cash equivalents also, take that also as a total. Yes. अभी तो मैं they have a bank balance එක overdraft උත් එකක් normal උත් එකක් අපි bank account දෙකක් තියෙනවා. එකක් normal balance එක අනිත් එකේ අපිට current account දෙකක් තියෙනවා bank එකක normal balance එක අනිත් එකේ overdraft එක. මම ඒ වෙලේ කල්පනා කරේ ළමයි කවුරුත් මොකද කියන්නේ කියලා හිතලා. අත්‍යවශ්‍ය වෙලා තියෙන එකේ මට ඔන්ලයින් එකලා තියෙන අර 20 ගන්න අනිත් පැත්තට. 20 මට ඕන වෙලා තියෙන්නේ මෙතන මේ පැත්තට යන. අතන overdraft එකක් මෙතන normal balance එකක්. By mistake that has taken them on total එක ඉක්මනට කරලා නම් total එක යවන්න. නැත්නම් printing mistake එකක් වුණා නම් total එක වල දෙන්න. මම total එකක් දාලා මගේ තියෙන total එක ඒ වෙලේ කරලා. balance balance I'll give you 10 minutes, please do this. තනියෙන් හදන්න හරිද? Take sufficient time and do this. Right. Right, let's start. Right, මේ හැමෝටම ආසය එකක් තියෙනවා. balance பண்ண ஆசை இருக்கு මට මගේ නෝන මගේ මාසෙක right now බලන්න I think the place to start is from the profit and loss statement. Okay. Now, please don't go. Stop. Listen. First, I start with the details given in the profit and loss statement. You are given sales. So that one I'll do debtors control account. I'll take opening and closing debtors balances. Trade debtors 200 and 300. Credit sales 2000. Balance this account, no more transactions with respect to debtors. Is cash received 1900?
Yes.
This is from debtors 1900. Next, please don't talk. Then straight away you are given gross profit. In between sales and gross profit there should be cost of sales. The computation is opening stock class purchases minus closing stock. So the cost of sales 1200. Opening stock and closing stocks here 150 and 450. These purchases 1500, 800. You want creditors control account. Put the opening and closing balances 200 and 300. It's 1500 you need to credit here. Purchases. Is that payable to creditors 1400? excuse එකක් දෙන්න පුළුවන් අර property plant and equipment එකේ case එකට විතරයි. That is different from the one which I discussed. That is the only difference. All other it's the same. Then listen please. Again, when it comes to here, other income 50, they are given an additional detail with respect to other income. What is that? Other income represents profits on disposal of motor vehicle. When you dispose an asset, you want a disposal of asset recovery. You want a disposal of motor vehicle recovery. When you dispose the asset, you want disposal recovery. What is the first WLT? The cost of the disposed asset you credit to the asset account and debit to the disposal account. We can do that part later on anyway. Finally, when you balance the account, if there is any profit from disposal, you will take the difference here. That is transfer to profit and loss. This is a profit or loss from disposal. This is profit. So, it's 50. We should have transferred to profit and loss account. That's how this 50 has come here. Do you agree? So what I do is I take that 50 disposal account debit and I charge that profit and loss. So that is how this has come here, that 50 to profit and loss account. In case it was a loss, the difference will be there in the credit side and that has been transferred to profit and loss. Then so මෙතනින් එහාට ඕන වෙලාවක disposal profit එක හරි loss එකක් කරලා තිබ්බොත් we have to do the disposal accounts. දැන් එහෙම යනකොට පැටලෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඒකද මම කරද්දී වල තේරෙනවා. There's a flow. ඒකට මේ කුඩින් බලලා හදන්න යන්න එපා. හිතනවා දැන් මෙහෙම ඒක පුළුවන් තව ටිකක් එක ප්‍රැක්ටිස් වෙන්න. නිකන් ගොඩාක් හදලා යනකොට බලමු උත්තර පෙන්නේ. හිතන්නේ පොඩ්ඩක් මේක අර හොඳට මොකක් ප්‍රැක්ටිස් කරගන්න එක you will do it this way. Then total operating expenses including depreciation. You want the operating expenses account. Listen please. This 410, what is this? This is the operating expenses you transfer to profit and loss. Clear? Operating expenses you transfer to profit and loss, 410. Then next one. Interest expenses. We have that is the interest expenses. This is the interest account. As the interest expenses is 40, we have charged to profit and loss. Income tax for the year 100, for that also you want the income tax account. Transfer this 100 to profit and loss. Next one. Right, then. So as I obtain these details now, you better just have a look on the other information given. All non-current assets are depreciated 20% per annum on opening net book value. We can do that. Other income represents profit from disposal that we already considered. There were no any disposal. And you know, all the other three information are given with respect to property, plant and equipment, isn't it? Now see the SOFE please. Again. When you refer your statement of financial position, see, ordinary share, the opening balance 700, closing balance 950. What has happened to ordinary shares? Increase or decrease? Increase by 250. But again, increase of ordinary shares. Why? You should have issued shares. Present again, financing, issue of shares. $250. Right? Then, this don't go. Profit and loss account 300 to 600. What is the net increase? 300. Now you see there, take the profit and loss statement again. Balance sales, the gross profit is 800 plus other income 50. 850. Minus total operating expenses 410, interest expenses 40. 850 minus 450, how much? 400 that minus taxes 100 kide man kanaka theruna mami bahala ekadu kala kide 300 ithara profit for the year how much 300 and when you take the difference in your reserves the retained earnings that also 300 is there any dividend they have paid no dividend they have paid why the net profit of the year they have straight away taken to retained earnings there is no any difference there. So the difference between the retained earnings is equal to the profit for the year. Is that clear? Understand? In the previous question which I wrote there, you saw there was a difference. But here there is no any difference. You can say the net profit they have straight away taken to retained earnings. There they haven't paid any dividends. Next one. Listen. 100 debentures, 300 to 200. There is a decrease in debentures by 100. Why? They have paid money back. The redemption of debentures. Under which activity? Financing activity. Redemption of debentures. Redemption of debentures 100 minus 100. Trade creditors opening balance 200. That one. Closing balance 300. Accrued debenture interest, no any opening balance. For the interest, there is a closing accrued balance that is 20. Accrued debenture interest 20. Income tax payable, opening payable balance 50. Closing payable balance 40. Right? You have to take the cash balances and bank balances in total. Right? Take it later on. Motor vehicles and net value. You want a motor vehicle account. In the motor vehicle, the opening balance is 600. Closing balance 400. Furniture. Opening balance 300. Closing balance 470. Stock अभी जाता नहीं to compute cost of sales. Trade debtors balances also we have already taken that one. Prepaid operational expenditure 200. Opening prepaid balance in the operating expenses account. There is an opening balance of 200 prepaid. Okay. Under. Bank balance balance. In the opening balances there is no any bank balance. Cash in hand 100. Understand? So the total is sum anyway 100. Clear? Take this 100 as the opening balance. Now see the bank balance at the end of the year 20, cash in hand 510. 20 plus 510 how much? 530. That minus overdraft. 40 then 20 plus 510 is 530. That minus 40. Is it 490? 490. Is anyone you have already balanced this piece? Balance. Right. Good. Then balance. Very good. Now listen. Maybe now please listen carefully. I think relevant details we have already taken, but now take the depreciation. All non-current assets are depreciated at 20% per annum on book value. You are given, listen please, motor vehicle and furniture. Listen, on this opening book value, why this is given as book value? They haven't given accumulated depreciation separately. Then you can assume this value is given after deduction of accumulated depreciation. Therefore, this is called as a book value. Since the book value is available, book value is the net value. They cannot give this as they depreciate the assets on cost. Why the cost is not given. Right? You are given a net value, so depreciate this on net value. Absolutely. Understand? Take 20%. 600 into 20% get 120. Credit 120 here, that is depreciation. 300 into 20% get 60. Credit 60 here, that is depreciation. Then altogether, depreciation is how much? 180 plus 60, that is 180. Where take it? Where take that? Operating expenses. 180. Depreciation. Understand? Just depreciate those. Now you can balance the accounts which are possible to balance. Just wait to balance these two accounts. Take the interest. This 20 is cash. You paid interest. Interest paid 20. Take that 20. Income tax. Is it 110? Paid. Income tax paid 110. Now see the motor vehicle account. In the motor vehicle account, there is a credit difference. How much? 80. What should be this difference? The value of the asset which you dispose. When you dispose an asset, where to transfer this? This account and debit this to disposal account. This 80 you need to take here to disposal account. Can remember that accumulated depreciation is not separately given here. Therefore, you can assume this 80 is after deduction of the accumulated depreciation, the net value. Whether it be cost taken, you have to transfer the cost separately, and you need to take the accumulated depreciation separately from provision for depreciation. But here the provision for depreciation not given. You can assume straight away you are given the net value. They are maintaining the net value in the account. Therefore, no need to take accumulated depreciation separately. When you take the asset value, that is the net value. Understand? Right. Then, you disposed an asset where the value of the asset is 800, but with that you have earned a profit of 50. 80 was the asset value, 50 is the profit. Altogether, the difference should be 130. What should be this? From sale proceeds, the amount you have received. This is the cash receipts. Right? You understand? The value of the asset is 80, profit is 50. To get the profit of 50 from an asset of 80, you should have sold that at 130. This 130 you can take here, sale of motor vehicle. Now see the furniture account. Credit total is 530. Difference is 230. What is this? Cash. You have purchased the furniture. Purchase of furniture 230. Next. Finally, the operating expenses account. Credit total is 410. Is it 30? Yes. Operating expenses paid in cash 30. Balance. So net cash on operating activities 340. 100 minus 1 plus. Is it hard? About it? මාත් එක්ක හදලා තියෙන ලේසි නේ. එහෙම ගතියනේ. තනියෙන් හදද්දි පොඩ්ඩක් අමාරු වෙන්නේ. දැන් මාත් එක්ක හදලා මාර ලේසි. ඒක මෙච්චර ලේසි ගන්නද මට බැරුව ගිය කියලා හිතෙනවා. ඇයි එහෙම හිතෙන්නේ? ඇයි එහෙම වෙන්නේ? හිතන හිතක් හැදිලා නෑ. අනිත් එක තමයි දැන් මේ ගණන් හදද්දී අපි හැම වෙලාවෙම යූස් කරන්නේ මොකද්ද? දැන් ඔයාලට මම හදනකොට ඒක ගාන්න ලෙහෙනවා නිකන් මෙහෙම ආයෙම. කියන්නේ ඔයාලා ගණන් හදද්දී තාමත් අර අල්ලගන්නේ හරියටනේ නෙවෙයි ගණන්. බලන්න එක තමයි ප්‍රැක්ටිස් කරගන්න. ගණන් ගත්තට පස්සේ මේක මෙතනින් පටන් ගත්තොත් හරියයි කියන එක තව හිතෙනවා මදි. ඒක තමයි ප්‍රැක්ටිස් කරන්නේ. ගණන් ගොඩක් හදනකොට ප්‍රැක්ටිස් කරනවා. අපි ගණන් අතර ගත්තාම අපිට හිතෙනවා මේක පටන් ගත්තොත් හරියයි නේ. ඒක තමයි ඒකට හේතුව. ඒ ගණන් හදන්න ඒ එක්ස්පීරියන්ස්. මම මැට් එක කියලා හිතන්නකෝ. නෝජි තනි පාඩම ජොලි නේද? ඇති වගේ ඉන්නවද? ඩොකක් ගැන ඉස්සර බලන්න. අදට ඇති කියලා හිතනවද? එන්න මනක් හිතලා තියෙන වයින්ම බලන්න මේ. මම මේ homework කරනවා. අහගන්න. You have 3 homework questions. Megan, you have 3 homework questions. Question number 4. Question 4. Question 4. Question 4. Hari damad. Question 9 and 10. 4, 9 and 10. Direct method එකකට තියෙන ඔච්චරයි activity ගන්න තෝරන්න. 4, 9, 10. Homework 4, 9, 10. Then I recorded this video for the students those who didn't come. Right? You have to watch this and come. එතකොට මේ do the homeworks and come, no excuses as we didn't come. Right? In the group also I sent that message and definitely I'll make this video available. Do you want to watch this again? No, if you want I can put the link in the group of this session. Then please do your homework and come. Is it okay? You understood, right? කරමු කරමුත් අය හදලා බලන්න. Next week we'll discuss this and we'll try to start. අපිට දැන් Wednesday class එකේ කරත හැකිනේ because communication skills complete, right? We'll try to start cash flow statement on the usual class. So after completion of this we can go for management accounting. Then we'll have some extra classes as well. Right, that's all. Stand up.